advice on coming out of deep depression is acknowledging that, yeah, you are deeply depressed. When I was a child, yes, I was deeply depressed. But now as an adult, I think the last time I felt really depressed was after my daughter died. And coming out of it, it was more of a counting my blessings kind of realization experience. I did have other children that I needed to take care of, but then I realized like the world was continuing on without me. It didn't matter how I felt. So I'm like, well, I still have a life to live. If the world is going on its merry way, I'm not going to let it leave me behind. That's how I pulled myself out. Really experiencing the things that I enjoyed. I always go back to meditation because that really is training your brain, training your mind. Your brain is a muscle, so meditation helps to train it. And there are different forms of meditation. There are breathing meditations, there are creative visualization, and narrative therapy. A lot of times when you listen to people tell their stories that you can relate to, it helps you to feel less alone and like someone understands. So coming out of it, yeah, I would just say start trying to live and enjoy your life, because even though things are very bad, things can get very bad. And for me, they have been very bad. There's still so much beauty in the world, and you can kind of get caught up in your own sadness. So expanding your horizons, traveling, going outside, seeing new things. And they're not that far off. I mean, like, we have been trying to go see the whales and dolphins for a while now. I don't know how many times I bought tickets. And they expired. But we're gonna go. We're going to see the world, the dolphins and the whales. But doing things like that, and I think just recognizing how many things in the world are just beautiful and amazing. And this is a thing that I have to tell anybody going through any kind of depression or just challenges mentally and emotionally with themselves. You can, like, time. You have to forgive yourself and allow yourself some time. But as long as you're actively working towards moving forward, and every little thing is not going to work. I was speaking to someone the other day about choosing a therapist. A lot of people will go to one session or go to a couple of sessions with a therapist, and then if it doesn't work out with that therapist, they say, oh, therapy isn't for me. When that's not the case. There are different therapists with different personalities, like dating. Different therapists with different personalities that have different theories that practice a different school of therapy. So I suggest that you actually read up a little bit on the different schools of therapy, so you know when you're looking for a therapist what you can ask them. Like, do you believe in more the Gestalt therapy? Do you believe in person-centered therapy, existential therapy? Because if you go in a little more educated, then you can understand their approach more. But just because it doesn't work out with one does not mean it's not going to work out with another one. So sometimes, you do have to try a couple before you settle on one where you and them click. And don't give up. You can't give up on yourself. And that's the thing. Like, you just can't give up on yourself. Being consumed by the blessings, not letting negative thoughts take over, yes. And sometimes they'll take over on their own. Trust. The mind is powerful. Like, let's say dreams, right? I was actually talking to somebody I know at the event that I went to, and he brought up, he asked me, did I believe in the multiverse? Now, interestingly enough, I just went and saw Doctor Strange, which theorized that we access different universes. We can access different universes through our dreams. Now, that being the case, interestingly enough, again, I was talking to my therapist. And I was talking to him about my dreams that I have, the nightmares that I have, where I am still being controlled by my father. We didn't report him. We didn't try to escape. Things were slightly different. And it's something because each time this scenario happens, it's a little different. Sometimes I have less kids. Sometimes I'm older. Sometimes I'm younger. We're living in a different house, or he has a different wife. Like, there's these different scenarios. But in them all, he is still, I'm still his daughter, and he is still abusing me. And when I was speaking to him, because, food for thought, people, psychology is a debatable science because they say that you can't prove it. It's hard to prove what human personality is. So a lot of the founding fathers, sorry if this is a slight sidebar, a lot of the founding fathers were very, how can I put it? It wasn't just all about science. So it's Carl Jung, Alfred Adler, Sigmund Freud, and these people were exposed to other things. They were exposed to religion. They was exposed to certain magical beliefs. And they incorporated that into their theories. So Adler studies dreams. And my therapist, he has learned a lot about Adler. So he brought up, he said, so do you think that sometimes your dreams, are you into the possibility that your dream could be a window into like another dimension, another universe where you are still being held captive by your father? And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad you have an open mind when it comes to stuff like that, because these dreams be so vivid and sometimes it's very hard for me to get out of them. Now, to my point of allowing thoughts and feelings to consume you, I could have that experience. Can you imagine the stuff that I went through and then dreaming about it and not being able to wake up from the dream? That's like reliving it over again, right? Now, I could completely wallow in whatever feelings of fear and self-doubt and unsurety and shame that came along with that dream and bring it to my everyday life, which I think a lot of people that have nightmares that are triggered by traumatic experience tend to do. But I choose not to. I wake up, I do my deep breathing, I ground myself, I bring myself into the present, I look at my surroundings and how far I've come. And that conscious appreciation is what continues to, one, drive me and helps me to dispel any of the negative energy that could have come from any triggers or even the nightmares that I have experienced.